Is there any Tea Party supporters who are trying to ask a question just set for balance here? How about this gentleman here?
Hi, thank you. Ramy, I'd like to ask you two questions. You don't have to answer both of them. on two different subjects. That's why on the first, you mentioned the World Health Organization survey on healthcare ratings for different nations, and we were, what, 36?
37.
37? Okay. Is it true that the World Health Organization used as a leading indicator the status of single payer in those nations, and that was one of the reasons why we were dropped down so low? Is it also true that I didn't write this part down. in the ratings of life expectancy, we're only off by a few weeks or months, and not necessarily, it's not this big, huge, oh, we're like 137th, but the difference between us and the leader is only a few months in life expectancy. And for my second question,
okay,
is on solar and wind as alternative energy sources. What lands are you willing to give up to the millions and millions and millions of acres required in solar and wind farms to produce enough electricity to replace oil and coal?
So, brief response.
Okay. The World Health Organization, which is a branch of the United Nations, their survey, my understanding is their survey compared all of the industrialized countries in the world on various indicators. One was life expectancy, but also one was infant mortality. One was, do you provide universal coverage? Another one was, what's the cost? How much is your country spending on health care? And quality of care, and maybe preventative care. There was just various measures, and if you compared all of those measures, the United States came in 37th after Slovenia. And I'm not sure if, like, do you have single payer was like a measure. Maybe some of the other people who know more about it here could answer that. But my understanding is it was comparing all of those important factors, about quality of care, cost, universal coverage, not just do you provide single payer or not. That was an interesting thing to know, but that wasn't like the main measurement. And yeah, I don't know the detail about is U.S. life expectancy a little bit different than those others, but I know that we spend, there's probably people here who can explain it better, but
4 or 5 years different, so
okay.
compared to like Japan.
But I know the U.S. is worse off, like we spend half of what Canada spends, yet they cover everyone and we don't, and that's per person. Well, they should fund them more. They should. I agree with you that these single payer systems.
People can hold their comments.
Single payer systems that exist are a lot better than our disastrous for-profit system we have here in the United States. But they're not perfect. They need to be, like I mentioned earlier, they exist in capitalist countries. Canada may have a socialized medicine system. It's still fundamentally a capitalist country. There's still corporations in Canada that run Canada, that they're privately run. The government, the rich people in Canada don't want to pay taxes, and therefore their healthcare system is underfunded, just like our public schools here are underfunded. But that doesn't mean we should get rid of our public schools. In terms of your other question about solar and wind, there's plenty of space available to make solar power and wind power work. Like I read that if you put solar panels in the deserts of the southwest of the United States, that could, I think, generate enough electricity possibly for the whole country or the whole world or something. It doesn't take much space. Also, you could put solar panels on the top of a lot of buildings where you're not like wasting space. That no one's using the roofs anyway. We could put solar panels up there. Wind farms, you could put those on along agricultural areas where there's a lot of space. Like you can have the windmills way up high, the turbines way up high in the sky, and you can still have agriculture going on beneath them. So the space is really not an issue. The problem with oil is really much worse.
The dial away